Okay. Let's poke around a bit. We've not done much exploration around here. It's a place that we've just kind of run through every now and again, but never really did much of a thorough investigation. Doug?
Bloody hell. Well. At your service. Witcher. What a mincemeat.
Oh, I saw someone, heard someone screaming. Apparently not, though.
The North must be a terribly barbaric land.
We've been to the wine market? Not sure we have.
Hello, cheers, howdy do. In need of anything?
Apparently we've already chatted with you, though, so perhaps we have.
See ya.
Julia. Oh. We can go in here, for whatever that's worth. Hello, little boy. Don't mind us. As the stranger just casually waltzes into your home and steals your belongings. Perfectly normal. Nothing to be concerned about. Just a small thing, so maybe it doesn't matter much. Okay. I mean, we can do a little bit more looking around here, but you know, if we don't find absolutely everything, that's not the end of the world.
Lay about wonks, sluggards.
You could make yourself useful.
Like this is, I'm not even sure if this is technically in the city anymore. Oh, which fast travel spot is this? This is San Sebastian. We can try looking a little more in this area as well, I suppose.
It's half times. Tough indeed.
I mean, we were here recently at the tavern.
Oh,
Best cure for the beast.
what's going on here?
I'm not sure what's going on here. Is something going on here that we should be aware of?
Why? Really, why?
Oh. Okay, we can go in here.
Advice, Richmond. If you've no reason to live, live to spite others.
Oh! That is not good life advice. Okay. I mean, I'm not seeing anything at the moment. Of course, if we happen to come across it, then great. But, you know, if it's a relatively minor thing that we missed, then so be it. We'll live. But generally, just getting the chance to see part of town that we have not spent as much time looking around in.
What a day.
Up here? Don't think so. It's probably on a bigger path, generally speaking. Okay. You know, maybe we'll go on one of the bigger paths on our way out. And then if we don't encounter stuffs, then so be it. Like, was this the one we were going down previously? I think we went down this one before. So maybe not.
If you've one jug of wine and one friend, drink the jug of wine and send the friend for another.
Oh no, we saw this beggar.
That is all I ask.
So we definitely did go this way before. Maybe just take a peek over here. Got a little piggy. I nearly pushed that guy off the bridge. But, other than that, not seeing anything, so I think we'll just carry on here. Yeah, you know, we did this one, we did this one, we did part of this one, so, like, maybe it's this pathway here. But, I mean, we even went down some of that, I think, so, you know, not too concerned about searching high and low for this thing. And, let's see, so what were we saying we probably wanted to do next? I think we were saying we wanted to go for Mutual of Beauclair's Wild Kingdom. Let's do that. And, we did stop by, this was basically like a abandoned campsite. There's also, actually, so there's not a great fast travel spot here. Closest one is probably the Palace Ruins. However, there was also a treasure hunt at the Coronado Vineyard. So what if we fast travel here, do the treasure hunt here, and then head over? That might be the most efficient way to do it. So, let's verify which treasure hunt that was. I think it might have been the one in the manure pile. That, it appears to be. Might even be two treasure hunts here. I don't know. So at the very least, this one. And I think we saw the manure pile that appeared to have something in it. We just didn't have the key at the time. That's hay. Where'd you go? Fairly certain we saw it previously. Okay. It's like supposedly right in the middle here. In this spot? There it is. Yep. There we go. Gold sapphire ring and some florins. That's all. No worries. Simple enough. Okay. So, now that that has been taken care of, we have... Let's go back to... this one. Investigate the campsite. That is up here. Actually, before we do that, I did have that thought that possibly one of these other ones was in this area. Chest hidden in the sunflower field. Where was that? That is also, it's kind of close. It's in the other vineyard. That might be something for a future occasion, though, because that's, I mean, it's in the opposite direction where we're looking to go for the other quest. So I think let's stick with this for now. Come on, Roach.
Come on, Roach.
No, Geralt, I just said that. Okay, so, we did stop by this place previously. However, it was a fairly high quest for us at the time, so we thought, let's save it for a future occasion, and I think this is now, of course, said occasion. It was just an abandoned campsite. Looked like it had some kind of, well, remains, as if it got attacked. This is it. We got a... Oh, okay, now we have a fast travel spot for it, so that would be mean to have had that previously. We were in this spot, but must have just barely missed that. See what it says? Every self-respecting merchant does some business in the capital of Toussaint. Going to hear the latest gossip from the famed belles of Beauclair and San Sebastian, or strolling down the port to see if the docksmen have lost a barrel or two. A truly important business is conducted not in the city, but at this modest merchant's camp, an outpost far from the wine and song-laden atmosphere of Beauclair's eternal celebrations. This is actually a well-known trading post, you say? Doesn't look that significant. It's like a series of tents, but use our Witcher senses to investigate the area. Got some kind of monster tracks.
Signs of a fight. Paw prints, beastly ones, that's clear. Just on this spot, though. Aerial attack. Must have been.
Okay. Some kind of arachnid, probably?
Man, bled to death. Big beast inflicted these wounds. Clear from the claw marks. Must have a toothy smile, too, judging by what ripped his throat open.
Oh.
Arachnid.
Yep.
Gotta be. Maybe a basilisk? Except these prints don't belong to any variety I know. Just a little different.
What? Whoa. Who are you?
Area's dangerous. I'd say there's a
This guy about to
basilisk
try to pick a fight with
nesting
us?
around here. He'd be wise to remain at some distance.
Yes, I'm familiar with the matter, and quite proud to say a basilisk does nest here. I look after it personally.
Look
Oh.
after it? It's not exactly a pet. Beasts murdering folk who come through here.
Just a minute. It does not murder those who do not trespass upon its territory.
You post those warnings?
Indeed, to prevent anyone from coming to any harm.
Well, a lot of good they did. Got a freshly mangled corpse right here.
Most likely a merchant, the poor bloke. Just today, I learned 2 traders had chosen this route despite the signs. I came as quick as I could to warn them. Too late, alas.
Yeah, you know, maybe that
Distracted my
means
servants.
this is not exactly
They
the
shall
best
take
setup you got.
Return it to the family with a generous sum as recompense.
Yeah, so, like... You know? Doesn't really seem like that's good enough to just have a pet basilisk that's murdering people and say, "Nah, don't worry about it. I'll pay you guys a little bit for your troubles." Otherwise, let's see. I think this is the last surviving basilisk? Because, I didn't remember saying that, but that is, it's quite the fib there. We've fought many basilisks before. I mean, I suppose we are a witcher. It's our profession to slay monsters, so in some ways, it is our job to get rid of as many basilisks as possible, and you could maybe say for that reason if the basilisks were to go extinct, then we would have succeeded, although then there perhaps wouldn't be as much work for future witchers to do. Yeah. I mean, these are all the sort of the white text, not the yellow text, which tends to mean these are more side conversation stuffs. So we might only be able to ask one of these. And yeah, so this guy is very suspicious for sure. His story doesn't check out. It's weird that, I mean, he even claims that a basilisk is just killing a bunch of people and that is defensible. And then seems to be justifying it by saying that he can just pay people off and it doesn't matter. None of those things are very reasonable. So, I mean, I'm not sure. I don't think this guy's gonna just, like, straight up tell us if we pressure him like that.
Pay the victim's family's compensation? Why?
These lands have been my family's for decades.
There have been a lot of
Granted
warnings
was
around here.
Duchess Ademarta. Beyond them, the basilisk ventures not, hunts not, it does not kill or destroy.
I mean, except for people going in here.
It is not provoked. Yet if it does destroy, if it kills, I compensate all for the loss. from my own coffers.
Your coffers. Got a store of sons and husbands in there to compensate for those shredded by your beast?
Yeah, you're gonna put a dollar value on their lives?
The dead, but I do make generous restitution to their loved ones. Just last summer, I paid a leather tooler's widow 800 crowns. This unfortunate merchant's family to be duly indemnified as well.
Sure. So yeah, that's it's a touchy topic, trying to put a dollar value on people's lives. It does happen with insurance, but at least in the real world. But yeah, and then he is basically saying, well, you know, although that may be tough to do, I gave them a pretty generous sum, but nonetheless, you are quite literally paying for people's lives. Now, I wish I remembered at least more by U.S. law standards what this would. I mean, this is like approaching negligence territory, where like you have the signs, yes, but would a reasonable person, well, a reasonable person know that this is dangerous? Yes, but I mean, like, compare this to the classic negligence case of, like, the icy stairs leading up to a business. Someone slips, gets hurt, and then the business owner pays money for them being hurt because they're responsible for it because it happened on their property. This is kind of like that, amped up to 11. No, they didn't just slip on ice on the steps. You got a monster that is eating people alive or just killing them. So, you know, that's kind of extreme.
Claim this to be the last surviving basilisk? How do you figure?
The last of this subspecies. Their population was much larger at one time, see? Before the beech forests were felled.
So now we're supposed to
a direct correlation between
feel pity for it because deforestation has driven it near extinct.
Beechwood forests are the chief habitat of roe deer, you see. In turn, a staple of the basilisk diet. When roe deer grew scarce, basilisks made humans their staple food.
And it's the humans' fault because they deforested the area, and the basilisks wouldn't have picked on them if they hadn't deforested it, so...
It's a female. As recently as last year, we still had 2. But Jocast's mate passed on, alas.
Jocast?
Should she not have a name? My father dubbed her in honor of my dear departed mother.
Now you give it a name to make us again
2 eggs.
Feel pity for it.
That she cast from her nest, alas, when the male perished.
Yeah, they give a warning for the icy steps, but they're still liable for it. Still liable. In other words, it's still your fault if something bad happens, even if you put up the signs. So you're trying to give us all this information to have us feel pity. Sorry. From a biological standpoint, if there is one surviving species, or one surviving member of this subspecies, it is impossible for said subspecies to continue. In fact, oftentimes, even with 2, it is impossible, because although, assuming that it's a male and a female, and they can procreate, even then, the genetic diversity of the population is usually not sufficient for it to actually survive. So, your whole spiel about this being sort of the last chance for this subspecies to survive, it's already lost. There's a term for that, but I forget what it's called. When a species is currently living, but there's no mathematical way for it to continue to exist long term. I forget what that's called, but that is the situation here. You are legally liable for these deaths, and you know you are paying for them from a civil standpoint. You're paying for them, but I don't know criminal law well enough, at least in the U.S. sense, to know if this actually would be a criminal case for these people's deaths. Yeah, what? Tell us more.
Who exactly are you? And how'd you develop such an interest?
Yeah,
in
also, like,
beast?
obviously, American law is not necessarily the most applicable thing here.
Surface.
But, obviously,
To
it's,
beast,
the most
this
applicable
subspecies
experience that I
is
have.
Our dynastic symbol. The Desalfareses have for centuries signed with the Regulus Platinum. As family legend has it, a female of the species rescued an ancestor, a boy at the time, from a burning building. She took the tyke back to her nest, where she fed him.
Now it
as
rescues
if he
people
were
from
one of
burning
her own
buildings.
youngsters.
It's a hero.
Malarkey.
To be sure, but beautiful malarkey it is.
Wait, was he just saying that was the basilisk that rescued someone out of a burning building? All of the tropes. It's the last of its species, it has a name, it's just protecting its home. It's not initiating any of these fights, it doesn't want to kill people, it rescues people from burning buildings. All the possible justifications for us to spare said creature, they're trying to throw them out there. Trying to make us feel guilty about it. That's a legend or something about this species, but he admits that it is probably also malarkey. Alright, well, at the very least, where might we find this thing?
Where's the basilisk nesting? Any idea?
Of course I have an idea, but you don't really expect me to tell you. Those are not toy swords. I know your intentions.
Find it myself then. Easy to track with its distinct paw prints. Mentioned 2 merchants, so I might also look for the other corpse.
Yeah, what is this guy's deal as well? Like, why is he so attached to this basilisk? Why does he have so much money to just throw at people who get injured or killed from said basilisk? And why does he continue to put up with that indefinitely? Rather than trying to seek out a more sustainable solution, because it clearly is not a viable solution. It's not a solution, period, that he has here. The signs aren't working. A reasonable person would do something about that so that people stop dying. An unreasonable person would do nothing and justify continuing the plan as is and sit idly by as additional people die.
Strange. These burn marks. Beast's venom make them? Subspecies must be highly toxic.
It is so indeed. A wound from a sterling basilisk festers long.
Need to brew a potion that'll neutralize that.
Okay, we're just talking Golden Oriole stuff, or
Strange.
something?
These burn
Oh,
marks.
same idea.
Beast's venom make them? Subspecies must be highly toxic.
Upgrade our stuff in the meantime. Not that we're, not that we're about to prepare for a fight or something. Oh, of course not.
Busted barrels. Contents spilled all over. Must have been tannin in there. Used to treat leather. Beast smashed the barrels. That's how the scent got on the scale.
Yokoko is so very curious. Strong sense especially intrigue her. The barrels, they must have drawn her in. Drawn her to the caravan.
Of course, it's not
Busted barrels
Yokoko's
slammed
fault.
with venom. Hallmarks of an attack. Basilisk must have caught the second victim here. Anyway, got 2 scents. Venom and tannin. Ought to be enough to track the beast.
Why track her at all? Your caste is protected. Her death would forever destabilize the ecosystem.
Oh, right, she's a
Who
keystone
knows what
species.
would happen?
Of course
I
she
see
is.
unforeseeable consequences down the line.
Right.
Simply refrain
entire
from
ecosystem would collapse.
provoking her. Harm her not, and she too will leave you untouched. I've long suspected they do it on purpose. Scent their goods. They seek to lure the basilisk to destroy their wares.
What?
It allows them to demand compensation from their assurers.
That's also doesn't make sense. You wouldn't make profit off of that. Just the logic is quite iffy on many of his claims. Okay, there are still... Oh, so we can follow... There were 2 scents that we can follow. One of them is the scent of the tanning stuff. One of them is the scent of the basilisk itself. There's this one here. And then where's the... That looks like the tanning stuff. And then... We actually check these?
Basilisk scales are usually thicker, not nearly so fine. Could be more sensitive to fire, this one.
Oh.
Alas, it is true. Your cast has a terrible fear of fire. She's a highly sensitive creature. Rid
Right,
your
of
mind
course she
of
is.
any thought to kill her. You would destroy the last of a species.
Okay, so yeah, where are the 2 scents? There's this one. Looks like there might have been one starting to go in this direction, but I don't see any others. But he said there were 2. Just don't see the second. Which means we may not have much choice at the moment, but to go for the one that we currently know of. And given our recent history with diverging paths, in which it seems like taking either one of the 2 options... Oh, don't need that. In which it seemed like taking either one of the 2 options would be fine. It turned out that was not the case.
Must be highly toxic.
So, fingers crossed that this is, in fact, the right one. 2 smells the same creature. So are they just sort of a combined trail? Or is it actually 2 separate trails? Because I was under the impression we were going to have 2 separate trails. Where are you going? There it is. Okay, so I assume that this is all building up to us finding the creature, and at some point we're going to need to decide whether we kill it or spare it. As I said, I think a lot of the logic that this dude has presented has been suspect.
Basilisk must be high in the sky. Bloodstains, clear as day.
Has been faulty. The logic. And so that makes it a little bit harder to justify sparing it.
Sense perceptible again.
Where, though? We're gonna see this. There's the scent. This guy actually following us? Looked like he was for a minute. Oh, well, here's the dead dude. Number 2.
Just as I expected. Second victim, but relatively unscathed. Basilisk must have been dragging him back to its nest for later. Dropped him for some reason. Wonder why.
Oh? Cooper's Guild contract. What is this? Dear Gaston, in reply to your recent question regarding the planned transport route for the barrels of tannin, allow me to confirm. The official itinerary supported by the Guild still goes through the lands belonging to Count de Savares. The board sees no reason to deviate from our traditional path. The Count has pledged to cover all eventual damage caused by the Great White Terror, so even in the case of the destruction of the entire cargo, the Guild will suffer no monetary losses. I mean, yeah, you can recover your losses. That's still not as good as selling for profits. That's still, again, like, from a physical standpoint, it does not make sense. From an ecological standpoint, it does not make sense. Because this species is already dead. You're something over here, person. From a moral standpoint, it's really the main question. Do you pity the final species of... the final member of this species, or subspecies, even if it means the subspecies is doomed and cannot ever come back?
Basilisk screech. Human voices.
Save. They like fight the basilisk? Look at the remains? What What is their deal? I mean, I'm guessing we're gonna fight them. Hello? Sinfred Reaver. Don't think we know that name. They're all Sinfred Reavers, okay?
Yamo, Harry, prepare your equipment. Beast wandered off somewheres. We got to lure it back. And who might you be?
Funny. About to ask you the same.
They call us the Reavers.
Reavers? Wouldn't happen to hail from Crinfrid, would you?
Greenfrit.
I do. But how's it you know? And again, who the hell are you?
Apparently we may have mutual acquaintances? I'm not sure who, so I don't really know how much to read into this. I mean, they look like they're bandits. You know, they've got weapons strapped to their backs. So my initial impression was that they were going to be pretty confrontational. But this first option seems like it would be more, well, friendly than that, perhaps. Yeah, they may just be from the books. Let's try this, see what happens, but I really don't know what Geralt is alluding to here.
Geralt of Rivia. I'm a witcher. Know your brethren in arms.
Okay.
Bold, Kenneton Desperate, New Boy too.
Ah, you're that witcher. Aye, Boholt mentioned you. Said you swing a mean sword.
A professional. Good you came along. Could take on the brute together. Talk is the venom's something horrifying. Could use another pair of hands. Fee what we've gotten from the guild. We'll share it fair and square. You in?
Oh, so you got hired,
Gentlemen,
okay?
This
Take
hurts
them out.
my ears and pains my heart. You aim to kill your caste? It cannot be. The creature is protected.
If you fear to lose the guild's reward, I shall repay it, and reward
Yeah,
you
how is this guy so
double. Leave
loaded?
the beast be. You cannot slay the last living
It's
specimen
just like,
of an
okay, it's causing all the problems in the world,
subspecies.
I'll just pay you off. No matter how many
Willing
times
to
you need to do
pay,
that.
Are you? Long as we do nothing? That's rather novel. What say you to that, Master? Far as I know, beasts culled the human race by 5 already.
Oh, we need to decide quickly. So this was my first impression. We'll spare it.
Basilisk lives for now. We're not gonna kill it.
But I'll be
Witcher
merciful.
defending the beast. Ever seen that, lads? You like them peaches?
Ah.
Just because the game
Out scrapping with filth
really
tonight, it
wants
seems.
us to do this.
But-
I mean,
You
really
made some
wants us to
mention
do
of
this.
coin, as I recall.
I did indeed, and the word once given.
Your share, Witcher.
Gracias.
Easiest job I've ever done. Godspeed, Witcher. Strange working with you. Strange, but nice.
Godspeed, boys.
So I really don't know what the deal is with those guys,
I thank
to be honest.
And be assured, I'll take great care she not dine on any other souls.
And I don't believe this guy for a second, because yeah,
Figure out
he's
a way to
failed
keep folk out
repeatedly.
of this area.
And this had
That I
numerous
shall do.
times in which it should have been obvious to him that he needed to make change, and he didn't.
Be it a
The people are going to
symbolic
continue to die.
sign. Had you not come along, the reefers would surely have slain my Yocast.
Alright, yeah, now Yokasa's going to continue to kill people instead. Congratulations. Do something about it. So you want to pay us more money because we decided to save her? I mean, I mostly just want you to get your act together. And, you know, not have this basilisk kill people all the time. So, like, is that an option? We have now leveled up
Thanks.
and reached level 50, which is one of
Yocast
the
has flown her
the
nest.
landmark arbitrary numbers that I was hoping we might
Must
reach.
have sensed a threat. Likely to return eventually, though.
She'll return. Always does. I suspect I might even know where she's gone. I tracked her away and believe she might have found a new mate. It's an ordinary basilisk, not a silvery one. But something might come of it. Who knows? Your cast could lay new eggs. Perhaps produce an entirely new crossbreed.
Sure hope not. Take care.
Yeah, so, like I said, much of the arguments presented for saving the Basilisk, I think, were pretty fraught. The ecological one, the economic one, the judicial one, really the only thing that I think you could legitimately, or the most significant case that I feel you can make is just the moral one. Is it worth it to kill this creature when it's the last of its specific subspecies? Again, with the huge caveat that that subspecies is dead already. It cannot survive with one member. So that's kind of, you know, it's not really as sunshine and rainbows as this guy tries to imply that it is. We have been here before. Out of curiosity, yeah, where did this take us? Huh. Okay. We can, in fact, see Geocast flying around. Let's see, was it back here, right? What's it? Lower, maybe? It's rotting flesh, but... That's something... No? Don't think I'm seeing her. Oh. I just heard something, but no. Search the actual nest. Oh, hold on. I thought I did. This? With the deer hide and rotting flesh. I think there might still be a spot, though. Not that, or that's not searchable at least. That's... Tried that many times. That's just rotten meat. Like, where, though? I just seen the prompt for a split second. That's just that yellow stuff over there. Yeah, Geocast, you know... Not really living up to the hype right now. Not really living up to the hype right now. Pretty overrated, if you ask me. Your nest does not really appear to be lootable. You are nowhere to be seen. Yeah. I don't know about that. But yeah, more or less I did it because I feel like I was obligated to do it. Because the game was so heavy-handedly trying to say, this is the right thing to do, even when the rationale was not the best, in my eyes. Okay, so, now that we have done that, we could head further down this way toward, there was that other, treasure hunts over there, right? It was the sunflower field one. Oh, hold on. Didn't mean to have that open. Yeah, it's right there. I am surprised we did not get a fast travel spot there. I have to imagine there is one. We just, for whatever reason, didn't find it. Okay, Yokasa's like, we saved you. The least you could do was show up and wave hello and say thanks. But not even that. Seriously. So inconsiderate.
Go.
No appreciation. Didn't even toss a coin to her Witcher.